We're now just a couple of weeks out from the start of the Muny's historic 100th season in Forest Park. And over the last 10 months, we've been sitting down with St. Louis Post-Dispatch theater critic Judy Newmark as she has looked back over the 100-year history of this Muny. We're back with you again this week. Welcome back to Arts Pop.
The series is over.
Can you believe it?
I have written it all. You can take it right up to the present day this weekend.
And if you've missed any of them, we've got them all on our website. They're all on STL Today. They've got a whole Muny 100 page at stltoday.com you're going to want to check out. We're talking about the current decade here this weekend, though.
The one that is drawing to a close with this centennial season.
And this is, I think one of the biggest things this decade we can talk about is the transition from the Paul Blake era to what is now the Mike Isaacson era here at the Muny.
Yeah, Mike came in right at the beginning of this period, and he did have a different vision, and he was very concerned to make the Muny more modern, more updated, not just in terms of material, but also technically, because a great deal has changed since the 1930s, the 50s. I mean, that big turntable, that was installed in 1930. At the time, it was the height of modern staging. Now it's not. And we need so he brought in the use of screens, the big LED screens, which you see all over Broadway. And I suppose everyone knows this by now. He has been working for several years along with Denny Reagan and members of the board and all kinds of experts to make sure that there's going to be a second century. And
that's part of this big campaign that they have announced. They did so at their big 100th anniversary, our 100th season kickoff Centennial Gala, is this effort to take the Muny into the next 100 years with a lot of improvements, right?
Yeah, $100 million.
That's a lot of money.
I told him, I said, that's the biggest number I've ever written. They are going to use about half of it, about $50 million, to improve the stage itself. They're going to remove the stage and put in a new one that is up to date, that has tracking and that has lifts and that has two turntables that are more reliable. And they're going to be covering the outside of the stage with the, look at the picture that ran. It's very hard. They're called shells. And they have a very elegant, sleek look. They're going to hide the two towers that hold the electronics and the sound. And every bit of it is designed to make the theater a better theater, and a better place to see plays.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I like the point you made in a previous article about this, that it's the most recent improvements have been about the audience.
That's right.
This is going to be about production value.
That's right. And they have really done a lot for the audience. And, you know, there are better bathrooms, there's better lighting. They put in the fans.
The better fans, yeah.
The better
quiet fans, I should say.
The fans that can stay on during the show. But this is going to focus on the technology of theater, and most of that is going to be done in the next 2 years. After that, we move backstage, and they will do things like improve the dressing rooms and
imagine that, making the actors more comfortable.
making it, and the crew members.
Yeah, well, for much more on this decade of the Muny, what's changed, what hasn't, and of course the second century campaign, pick up today's A&E section of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. You'll find all the breakdown. As I mentioned, you can go back through all 10 of these big articles that Judy's been working on here over the last months on the stltoday.com site. We're going to link you up to all that from our website, fox2now.com. And as always, just look for Arts Pop on the Fox 2 mobile app. Congratulations. It's been a really great series.
It has been the biggest job I've ever taken on, and it's been fun.
We'll see you at Jerome Robbins Broadway.
That's right. That's right, on June the 11th.
There we go.